So just 20 seconds to this group behind. Herrada goes on the charge, and Conti's there as well. Heard, as I mentioned, Almeida and Jonathan Castroviejo will not be contributing here, unless, of course, the Team Ineos squad would like him to get back up. But I think they won't be thinking about him helping to drag all those other riders into contention. But can they get back on?
Well, that's the reason why we didn't have that information that they were closing in, and that's the reason why Jumbo-Visma can't go on the attack. They can't slow down at all and start to play the kind of old 1-2. That's why they've been forced to go to the front to ride, and I think that's what Roglic was talking to Kruijswijk about. They are committed. They don't want any of these riders coming back to the front of the race. So the onus now is in Jumbo-Visma to keep this rolling along at a good tempo. So that's why Kruijswijk has been made to come to the front with George Bennett. The two of them will ride all the way and try and pave the way for Primož Roglič to take the sprint, because they don't want this group coming back to them at all.
This is going to be incredibly tight, isn't it? 2.5 kilometers remaining. Make that 2 kilometers according to the sign on the side of the road. Not a whole lot in it. It's down to 12 seconds. There's nobody shirking in that group behind, with the possible exception of Jonathan Castroviejo. Meanwhile, it's a 2-up time trial up front for these Team Jumbo-Visma riders. George Bennett and Stefan Kruijswijk, both of whom have made huge contributions already today. I don't think the guys behind have been wanting in their effort either, toiling in the sunshine quite a way behind the leaders over the top of that previous climb, but they want to get back in here, and this is going to be a fascinating conclusion. Bit of a cliffhanger, and for all that there aren't huge crowds out on the road, which is of course as we want it these days in a slightly bizarre way, it is still thrilling stuff. We bring them to you from Eurosport GCN, and it is Primož Roglič that would be starting the warmest of favourites if it does come down to a sprint finish between this group of 6, or will it be an expanded group? Showing at 12 seconds, I think that gap could even be slightly smaller than that at this point. Inside 2K to go, something has to happen.
Yeah, they've started the 1-2 now. We're getting close to the finish now. George Bennett put a dig in there, and over the top just Kruijswijk went. So Kruijswijk going on the attack, but if they start looking at each other and playing around, I think, like I said before, the onus now is in Primož Roglič. He has to try and do something, but Kruijswijk propped on the front. This gap, these riders behind can still come back, but the three behind, Quintana, Mollema and Conti, they're just waiting for a wee bit of a lull in the action, possibly to the final sprint, because it does kind of go uphill. We'll get this slight downhill before we start rising up towards the finish. You can see the kilometre to go. Everybody's looking at each other, starting to get tense. Bernal looking behind. Is this group going to catch them inside the last kilometre? An exciting finish.
That's going to be a real cliffhanger, isn't it? Kruijswijk has lead-out duties. He knows what he's got to do. We're under the kite with 1 kilometre remaining on this second stage of Tour de l'Ain. Valerio Conti watches with interest. Has he got the legs for a sprint finish? In front of him, Bauke Mollema has to try something extraordinary. So too Nairo Quintana, who has got a useful finish from a small group. We've seen it in the past. But Primož Roglič, probably the warmest of favourites. He's found a useful situation, hasn't he? He's managed to put Egan Bernal between himself and his teammate Stefan Kruijswijk on the front. Where's that group behind? Still the camera motorcycle is in between the leaders and the group that are chasing behind, so they're not quite in contention. Looks like we're going to have a 6-up gallop for the win. Stefan Kruijswijk tries to find some more strength. Egan Bernal tries to lay off the back of Kruijswijk and is alive to the danger from Quintana, and more particularly from Primož Roglič. Who's going to go first? Kruijswijk's trying to wind this one up to the point where virtually no one's able to produce a finish. A little bit of a ramp up to the finish line as we take it in to the finish in Lelex. Stage 2 of Tour de l'Ain, as Primož Roglič waits to go. Bauke Mollema, did he pull a foot out? Missed a gear or something. He tried to launch first. Primož Roglič over the top of Egan Bernal going to the line. Primož Roglič is going to deliver this one on behalf of the Team Jumbo-Visma squad. All too easy at the end. What a show of strength. It is the stage success that he came for, ahead of Bernal and Mollema, who'll be disappointed, or indeed, I think it was Conti actually. Problems for Bauke Mollema behind as he's overhauled by the other riders. And what a situation, what a fantastic stage success for Primož Roglič of the Team Jumbo-Visma squad. Denied at the death yesterday, but he made no mistake today and delivered after what was a consummate team performance.
That was really impressive from Jumbo-Visma there. They had to kind of change the kind of tactics a little bit towards the end, but they guaranteed the win, and that was the most important thing. Unlucky for Mollema. It looked as if he's mechanical. I'll leave it. That's what he's trying to tell the commissaires there, and we'll have to wait. Just look at the bottom of the screen, mechanical, but as soon as Primož Roglič went, he just left everybody for dead there. You know, Bernal is, you know, we know that he's got some good strength when it comes to these type of finishes, but you know, it's just so easy. Looking behind, you know, easy victory, yeah, really impressive from the boys in yellow today. All day, took it on, and you know, delivered the stage win and the yellow jersey as race leader.
Stage and overall lead for Primož Roglič. Another victory for the Slovenian rider, whose performance came at the end of a great display of strength by Jumbo-Visma. Almost 4 hours of racing for the riders. They've got to do it all again tomorrow in the final stage. And Primož Roglič has put himself into a position of strength after a superb display of strength, and really he did have the favour.